Time to recap today's game. This is Trailblazer Postgame.
All right, welcome back to Arlington, Texas, inside College Park Center. Trailblazers' six-game winning streak comes to an end, 63-50, the final against UT Arlington. The Mavericks getting the win. Utah Tech still had yet to win here on this floor against the Mavericks. But Trailblazers, right from the beginning, just seemed like it was going to be a rugged game. That's kind of the game you would expect with this kind of team. That's the way it was in the first game when they lost by 4. Second game, much more of a rhythm for Utah Tech in a 3-point win in double overtime. But here on their home floor, the Trailblazers were 0-3 coming in. Now they're 0-4 as members of the WAC against UT Arlington here. Trailblazers just could not get it together for long periods of time. At one point, though, in the second half, for nearly 8 minutes, they held UT Arlington without a field goal, and they cut a double-digit lead down to 3. But then right after that, 3 straight trips, layups on the other end as the Trailblazers just let them go right to the glass, and that lead was quickly back up to 11. So that little run was short-lived for Utah Tech. Leading the way for Utah Tech, Ethan Potter, 6 of 12 from the floor. He hit 2 of 3 in the first half from distance. He only hit 1 of 12 from three-point land in this whole season, but tonight he hit 2 of them. He had 16 points to go along with 11 rebounds, his second double-double against this Maverick team. And the only other player in double figures was Noah Belonga, but he took a lot of shots to get there. 3 for 11 from the floor, 1 for 6 from beyond the arc. And Noah Belonga finished with 11 points, 5 rebounds. Chance Trujillo, 2 of 9 from the floor, 1 of 5 from distance. He had 8, 7 points for Jashawn Holt, 3 of 8, 1 for 6 from beyond the arc, and he had 2 rebounds. Dario Domingos came in, and in 10 minutes, he went 2 for 3, 4 rebounds, and he had 5 points. Trailblazers hit 6 of 26 from beyond the arc. They hit 17 of 50. Not a good shooting night whatsoever for Utah Tech, only shooting 34%. They only went to the free throw line 12 times. They were 10 of 12 from beyond the arc. Meanwhile, on the other side, the Mavericks didn't shoot much better. They shot 44%, 50 in the first half, 38 in the second half. They only hit 3 of 16 from beyond the arc and only 8 of 14 from the free throw line. So big problem tonight for Utah Tech, offensive rebounds. That game Saturday against California Baptist, Trailblazers gave up 21 offensive rebounds. Tonight against the Mavericks, they gave up 15 offensive rebounds. That resulted into 16 second chance points, 11 more second chance points than Utah Tech. And so that was an 11-point difference, and it was a 13-point ball game. Doesn't take much to figure out where they went wrong. That was our Mr. Appliance keys to the game, offensive rebound. They couldn't keep them off the glass, especially in that first half. I think they had 11 offensive rebounds in that first half. Turnovers, Utah Tech turned it over 11 times, which is pretty good, below the season average, but that resulted into points off of turnovers. Let's see, 15 points, 11 points for the Mavericks in turnovers. All right, time now to unveil our Stuart Awning player of the game.
Our player of the game is presented by Stuart Awnings and Outdoor Living, Southern Utah's outdoor amenities experts.
Not a lot of great numbers to choose from, but our Stuart Awnings player of the game tonight is going to go to Ethan Potter. 16 and 11, his second double-double in 3 games against the Mavericks. He went 6 of 12 from the floor, 2 of 3 from beyond the arc, 16 points, 11 rebounds, 3 of those offensive. He also had 2 steals, 2 block shots, and assists. So Ethan Potter is our Stuart Awnings player of the game, 16 points and 11 rebounds. All right, Now we head about an hour and a half from here. We'll bus tomorrow to Stephenville, Texas to take on Tarleton State. And the Texans, we beat them twice, including once on their home floor a couple of weeks ago. Tarleton State, right now with 15 seconds left, they have an 8-point lead over Southern Utah. Southern Utah had never won a road game this year until last Saturday when they came here in this building and beat this UT Arlington Maverick basketball team, a team we lost to by 13 points. So Tarleton State leading Southern Utah by 4. And Utah Valley got a big win, a 19-point win over California Baptist. So that means that Utah Valley now has a half a game lead over Utah Tech and California Baptist for first place in the Western Athletic Conference. The Trailblazers now dropped to a half game back of Utah Valley and into second place. So going to have to go to Tarleton, start a new winning streak as we the 6-game winning streak come to an end. But this was a different team tonight than it has been the last month. Trailblazer just, I don't want to say seemed disinterested, but I think they said that it's human nature saying, hey, we've been doing everything well, so let's just continue doing it without actually doing it, if that makes sense. It's human nature. But everything has just fallen their way, and they've worked hard, and they got that 6-game winning streak, beating the top 3 teams in the conference and feeling good about themselves because they were working and playing physical ball. Tonight, seemed like at times they were just going through the motions and hoping that it would happen again instead of making it happen. And if we get Juddy out here, he's going to come out. We're going to take a break. I see him walking over here. We'll get his thoughts on what he thought about how his team played tonight. 13-point loss, 6-game winning streak coming to an end. Head coach John Judkins when we come back.
Welcome to Utah Tech University. From classrooms to cliffs and lectures to lakes. Here, we celebrate active learning, active life. Our Trailblazers learn by doing, are career ready, and solve real problems with real partners to meet community needs. Here, students get the full college experience and choose from 300 affordable academic programs. All in one of the most stunning destinations on Earth. With this as your backyard, life is just as active as your education. Come experience active learning, active life at Utah Tech University.
All right, back here in Arlington, Texas, Trailblazers 6-game winning streak comes to an end. 63-50 to UT Arlington. They're having a concert here after tonight. All right, John Judkins now the head coach in. And, Coach, I'm interested to hear your thoughts. I gave my thoughts. Now, what are your thoughts on what happened tonight?
What was your thoughts? That's a good question.
Well, I thought they seemed kind of disinterested and hoping that everything that good has happened the last 6 games would happen tonight without actually having to make the effort.
Yeah, it's, again, being on the road, you got to be that tougher team. At home, you know, you have the crowd behind you, get you going and all that. And tonight, the energy was bad. Again, I don't know. I don't know what it was. That's why I asked him. We'll watch some film. But, again, I thought, you know, we got it to 41-44.
Yeah. I
thought, okay, here we go. We're starting to click. Here we go. And then we came down and we shot 3 really bad shots, forced them, and then they got layups, you know. So now it's
3 in a row.
Yeah, so now instead of being a 3-point game, now it's a 9-point game, 10-point game, and you can't do that. Bad shots lead to easy baskets on the other way. And so, you know, they guard us completely different than everybody else. They really pressure the ball. They don't help at all on drives. They want you to drive. They want you to go to the big guy, and they stay out on their guys. They don't help very much on the drives. And so our guys are driving. They're like, I can't pass it. You know, they're all guarded, and so then we throw up some crazy floater, which we don't really do. But again, we'll watch film. We'll see it. But again, I think overall tonight they were desperate for a win. Losing 5 in a row, it kind of reminded me a little bit of the Cal Baptist game where, they lost 3 in a row and they came in and they were more physical. They had more energy. They just got into us. And that's kind of what happened tonight. And I don't know if these guys just think that, hey, we won 6 in a row. We're going to come in. We're going to win another one. And you got to remember, how did you win 6 in a row? You defended. You shared the ball. You rebounded the ball. We gave up 15 offensive rebounds again, Rob, which is the key of the game. In the first half, they got 9 of them, and they scored 9 points on those rebounds. Yeah. And that you just can't. When the game starts, you got to let them know, hey, we're not going to give up rebounds. And I told them, guys, if you get a foul by blocking a guy off, I will take that. You're sending them a message. And we got some guys that might be a little too nice, and they don't want to foul. And we gotta be tougher that way. But we'll bounce back. We're going to watch this one. We're throwing this one out. Not one of our better games. We're probably going to play these guys again in the tournament. We'll watch the film and learn from it, but we're going to throw this away and regroup. Not one of our better efforts. It wasn't like one guy played bad, or it was the whole team wasn't in sync tonight for some reason.
And Coach, you always mention we want to be peaking at the right time for the Western Athletic Conference tournament. So is there a way you can turn this a blessing in disguise, saying, listen, guys, you found out what it takes to win 6 in a row, and you also found out what it takes to lose 6 in a row by just hoping it instead of doing what you did to be successful. You'd rather have that happen now so you can have it be a lesson to get ready for WAC Vegas.
Well, we're going to try that. We're going to use that to our advantage and say that, but they got to go do it. That's one thing I wrote on the board at one of my timeouts. I said, guys, we can tell you everything to do, but you guys just got to go out and do it. You just got to do the things we've asked you to do. Go do it. And just go play hard. And lose or win, play hard. I just didn't think we played very hard and physical tonight. Not us. But you got to give them credit, man. They played really hard. And, losing 5 in a row, they were desperate, and you could see it. You could see it in their eyes, and they're a very, very good team.
So we make the bus ride about an hour and a half from here to Tarleton State. They got the 4-point win over Southern Utah tonight. So you got another same kind of team that you've had here tonight.
Yep. And again, we played them before there, and we know it's going to be a physical game, and rebounding is going to be another big one. So we're going to see if our guys learn. Did they learn from tonight by getting beat like this, or are we going to fall into that again? Knowing these guys, they'll be ready. Yeah. They'll be ready on Saturday.
All right, let's see what kind of lesson they learned and see how fiery they come out. And like you said, I expect them to come out with a lot more energy against the Texans. All right, that will be it for our John Judkins portion of this show. Coach, thank you. Let's go, and let's go get a win over the Texans.
Sounds good. Thanks, Rob.
All right, that was Coach John Judkins. He's going to head out of here now. Reminder that Saturday's game is an afternoon matchup, 3 o'clock tip-off, and it will be 2:45 pregame show here on Trailblazer Sports Vision and also on the Fan Sports Radio Network. Trailblazers will start a new streak Saturday night against Tarleton State. They're 2-0 against the Texans. They beat them in St. George, and they also beat them in Stephenville a couple of weeks ago. So that'll do it tonight here in Arlington, Texas. Once again, the final score, Utah Tech losing by 13, 63-50 to UT Arlington. Trailblazers now drop to 9-5 in conference play, tied for second, a half game behind Utah Valley. So for Chris Nelson, back at the studio, I'm Rob Zundel for Coach John Judkins, saying so long from Arlington, Texas. Once again, the final, Utah Tech losing to UT Arlington 63-50. We will see you Saturday afternoon from Stephenville against Tarleton State. Have a great rest of your night, everybody. See ya.